Hello everybody. Forgive me, but in the next couple of blogs, I'm going to be reading from a script that I've prepared because this subject is too important to risk leaving to ad-libbing and memory. I want to make sure I say everything I want to say here. Today's blog is going to be a little different. It's going to be a blog about a blog, specifically a blog I wrote last week. It ignited a huge amount of response, both positive and negative, and the response was so overwhelming that it needs to be addressed. I got a ton of feedback from last week's blog. Some of it was positive and some of it was extremely negative. Some of it was so negative that I actually had to quit a group I was a part of on Facebook because of the reception I received there. The ferocity and relentlessness of the negativity really concerned and alarmed me, and I'm going to be addressing the harassment in part 2 of this blog because it is a subject in itself. It's a serious issue that has to be dealt with, and I intend to deal with it. But for now, I want to do something more important. The first thing I want to do is apologize. I received a lot of feedback from BBWs who read my blog and watched my video and told me they were offended by my choice of words, by the way I chose to express my views, and for that I am truly sorry. My intention was not to insult, judge, degrade, or demean any BBWs for their right to pose for pictures in whatever manner they choose. I also want to apologize to any men I may have offended. I still stand by my belief that most men who respond to these kinds of pictures are not primarily looking for a relationship, but I admit that is a bit of a generalization. No, not all of you are just ogling, grinning lechers, and I also know that appreciating the beauty of the female body does not preclude you from treating women well, so I apologize if I offended any of you as well. The subject of BBWs, their bodies, their appearance, and the way that they present themselves is a huge topic, a vast topic. My blog was a mere fraction of that topic. This is what my blog was about. Single BBWs who pose provocatively in order to attract a mate. That was the subject of my blog. But the response I received turned it into something completely different. I was accused of saying that BBWs shouldn't dress a certain way, look a certain way, or act a certain way. I said nothing of the kind. This is what my blog was about. Single BBWs who pose provocatively in order to attract a mate. But very few people chose to focus on my topic. They saw or heard my words, interpreted them in their own way, and accused me of saying all kinds of things. I take responsibility for some of that misrepresentation, which is why I started this blog with an apology. I realized that I could have chosen my words better, and I was probably not as careful as I should have been to make sure that my meaning was clear and understood. My blog was not about a BBW's right to pose provocatively if she wants to, what kind of clothes she chooses to wear, whether she wants to be monogamous or not, or if she even wants a mate. It was about BBWs who pose provocatively in order to attract a mate, and my belief, that it does not benefit them. I got positive feedback. I heard from many people who totally agreed with me. I also heard from people who totally disagreed with me, but who were unemotional about it and did not infer anything offensive from my point of view. Then I heard from people of a whole different breed, who disagreed with me and who were extremely angry, who felt that I was judging them and that I was being insulting and demeaning. I heard from women who said that they had posed provocatively and met their soulmates as a result. I heard from women who said that they had had nothing but great experiences from being open and free with their bodies. To those women I say, that's great. I am very happy for you. I never said that it was impossible to meet a great person by posing provocatively. I said it was unlikely. And I still believe that initiating a great relationship in this way is not the norm. You may disagree with me, but that's my opinion. That is what free speech is all about. People are entitled to speak their opinions. I speak mine, you speak yours. Neither one of us is right or wrong. We are simply stating our personal truths. The other night, a Facebook friend, another BBW, sent me a beautiful video of a BBW posing in various ways, wearing lingerie and skimpy clothing and showing her body. You will find the link below. I thought it was absolutely beautiful, and it really moved me in the context of this whole blog situation. There's also a wonderful website called adipositivity.com, which features the work of the very talented photographer Substantia Jones. She photographs large women and often photographs them nude, in sexy poses with their partners, or in just plain sexy poses. I love her work, and I think that it is beautiful and brilliant. I know that some people will call me a hypocrite for saying the video and the adipositivity photographs are beautiful, because in my opinion it's unadvisable for a BBW to pose provocatively if she's looking for a mate. But to me it's not the same thing. Let me explain the difference. The woman in the video is not posing to attract a mate. She is displaying not only her body, but her confidence in herself. She is telling the world, "Look at me, I am beautiful." She is also saying, "Whether you agree with me or not, I know I am beautiful." On the other hand, the BBW who poses provocatively in order to attract a mate, her primary purpose in posting her photos is not necessarily to say that she is confident about herself. Rather, she is using them in the hopes of initiating a relationship, which to me does not represent confidence in herself. Her personality, her character, who she is not visible in those photographs. But the character of the woman in the video is visible. She has clearly accepted herself and loves herself unconditionally. I believe that our bodies are sacred things. It's a little scary to me that this belief has become old-fashioned and archaic to some of you. I believe that it's especially true for BBW bodies. Why? Because they have been demeaned and degraded by society for so long. We've been told that we're ugly, that we're not sexy, that we're not good enough. Obviously, this is untrue. But when you expose your private body parts for no purpose other than to titillate and attract attention, to me that reveals insecurity and a search for acceptance. That is not a BBW who loves herself. That is a BBW who is using her body in the hopes of finding someone who will love her so that she can finally love herself. You may disagree with me, but that is my opinion. I know because I speak from experience. Many people ask me what I was basing my opinion on. The answer is my own experience. At one time, I used my body as a way to find acceptance. I thought my breasts were my ticket to love. When I think of the men I allowed to partake in the glory of my breasts who are definitely not worthy of them, with the hopes of finding love, it makes me shudder. But I learned from it, and thankfully those days are long behind me. You say that's not your experience? You say that you bared your body and have been treated respectfully and wonderfully by every man you've ever met? Congratulations. I'm happy for you. But that was not my experience, and it has not been the experience of many other women, including a lot of my friends, who also told me about a lot of their experiences. So in closing, I hope this clears up any misunderstanding or misinterpretation I may have unintentionally fostered with my blog. Once again, I sincerely apologize to any BBWs who I offended or insulted with my words. My intention was only to help and give what I believe was the best advice to any BBWs looking for love and using their bodies to help them find it. I have learned a huge lesson here. As a writer, I'd already learned this lesson, but this experience gave me a refresher course on the reality of this concept. Words can be extremely powerful. The slightest nuance can change the well-intentioned into the destructive. I will do my best from now on to make sure that every blog I write contains only the words that best express my opinions and intentions, and do not unintentionally offend others. This doesn't mean that I'm going to refrain from expressing my honest opinion, even if it's unpopular. But I will do my best to make sure that I don't unnecessarily offend the very people I am trying to help. Thanks for reading and watching. Stay tuned tomorrow for part 2, where I deal with the hatred and the harassment that resulted from this blog. Believe me, you won't want to miss what I have to say. Bye. See you tomorrow.